Welcome to Honest Whispers Review. On this video, I'll be reviewing a Cutie Honey Gashapon figure from the Cutie Honey art collection line by FiguAx. It's based on the creation by Go Nagai. He also created Mazinger Z, Grandizer, Getarobo, and the original, I believe, Cutie Honey animation came out like in the 70s. There's no sculptor credited. If so, I couldn't read it. Usually there's no sculptor credited for Gashapons or little figures or action figures. And I believe this was released around 2010-2011. Can't remember exactly when I bought this. There's no date on it. But I'm going to go over 5 different categories to review this Gashapon figure. First category is the design, which goes over the concept, the pose, and just looking at it, definitely unique look to it. She actually comes with an extra hand, one that's not holding a sword, so you kind of had a choice. I thought the one with the sword makes her look a little dynamic, although it does take up a little bit of space. Her wrist can, where the hand is in, it's almost like a ball joint, so you can kind of move the sword in different positions or angles. Her elbow does move, but it moves in an unrealistic angle. It basically swivels right there, so once you start bending or giving the arm an angle, it's gonna look like it's twisted or broken because it's kind of folding at the wrong angle. Her left arm is kind of broken off. Now it could be just unfinished or unshown, like, you know, because she's kind of a bust in a way than an actual figure, since her legs aren't sculpted, but showing the way it's kind of cut off definitely has more of a broken off effect, so it looks like she's part of the battle, or I mean, this part, the way her legs and the effects, I'm not quite familiar with what that's going on right there, but that was my assumption for the transformation rather than battle damage. It could be part of her transforming from the regular Cutie Honey to the super heroine or superheroine Cutie Honey. So the design looks great. I think it's very unique. Even has a bit of that Greek, just the way her arms kind of missing, has that Greek statue bust look to it. So due to that, I'm going to give this a 10 out of 10 on the design. Next category is sculpting. Sculpting is very well done. It covers execution as well as the molding, of course, because they massively produced this. The hair, I want to point out, they didn't try to sculpt every strand. It has more of an anime look to it, so I definitely like that. Unfortunately, there's like a little crease there or anything, like that's definitely part of the molding. So the quality of the molding isn't perfect. I mean, this is a small figure, about, let me get this on the inches. Whoops. About 3 inches high. So, but for the small size that it is, very nice detail. A lot of nice details. Not much flaws at all, really. Face is sculpted nicely. Definitely looks kind of like the anime. Let's see. Body, of course, is done well, really well. You can see a lot of details from the belly button the rib cage, her hip bones, the way it kind of sticks out, and you can see it through her skin tight costume. Let's see, shoulders and back, it's not just plainly smooth. I mean, there is some details to it. Butt is sculpted very nicely. Looks like a perfect butt. Arm, very nice details. Sword, even very, for a simple design, very intricate. Sword details. So it's close. I mean, I do want to give it like a 10, a perfect score, but due to some little minor like molding issues, like little lines and stuff, like that line on her costume, that doesn't really bother me. But yeah, it's close. It's definitely close to perfect. But I'm gonna give it a slight ding. I mean, 10 is really reserved for a perfect score. So for sculpting, I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. Next is a painting. As you can see, painting's done really well. This is the variant version, so she has more of a glossy finish to her, especially on her costume. You can see that her skin tone is more of just the plastic, probably the plastic, that plastic color that it's molded out of. Glossy finish, very nice shiny glossy finish to her costume. Really makes her stand out. The black and red one, it does have some glossy finish to it, but the black part of her costume just doesn't really have that much of a shine to it compared to this one, which is kind of why I like this one a little more, even though I'm more of a loyalist and I like having figures where they have the same exact color as the original. So as you can see, her base is a bit tilted to make her give her the effect, like a standing effect. But yes, third category. So the painting, hair paint, kind of a gloss to it too. Eyes are painted basically perfectly. No googly eyes or no cross-eyed looking at all. Let's see, pretty good colors on the base, doing the black, even the way her name stands out. It's almost like a gold paint, so it really has a reflect. It doesn't reflect that much, but as you can see, it doesn't even look gold. It's just kind of seeing the light color. Now, paint overall, I mean, quality is great and everything. There are some minor issues, as you can see, just above her cleavage, the costume. A lot of red has been, some of the red paint crosses over the line. The costume doesn't connect from her collar to her costume. I mean, very minor flaws, but other than that, and on here, on her butt, there's actually like a discoloration. Right there on the right buttock. There you go, even off the reflection you can see it more. It looks like just painted and dry right, or somebody missed it. And no, I did not like rub it or anything like that. I don't do that to my statues. I try to keep it in pristine conditions, always, because there's always a chance I may sell it. And the better your condition the figure, toy, statue, or bust is in, the higher value you can get out of it. It's all about condition. So on the painting, unfortunately, it's close, but there are some errors. So I'm going to give that a 9 out of 10. Next category is value. Value for this, originally the price was $7.99. Actually, I have the sticker on there. Bought it from an anime shop, local shop. Of course, they went out of business. I think they still do business, I think, but just online. They don't really have a store for displaying stuff. But right now, the aftermarket value, considering that it's about 7, 8 years old, is decent, because she's not that well known here in the States. There's just isn't a demand for her. Not many people recognize her or are familiar with her. Oh, and going back on that molding, on the blade, they kind of, it looks like it's part of like the plastic. It almost reminds me of a Gundam model kit, where you know, take it off the little plastic bracket that it's molded onto. Looks like they didn't really shave it off completely. That's kind of a little bothersome. I guess I could do it myself, but so that was part of the 9 score on the sculpting. So the value on this, I guess for a new one, you could probably find someone, find a buyer at around $25, maybe 20. A used one like this probably will easily go for $10, $15. But this is probably one of the better ones, so this has a better aftermarket value than the others. So it could have been a lot better. Unfortunately, like I said, it's just not that well known. So I'm gonna give this a 7 out of 10 on the value score. So overall, this is a really nice figure. I definitely thought it was nice, which is why I opened it for my own personal collection. Not a huge fan of Cutie Honey, but she's definitely one of the fun animes to watch from Go Nagai. Of course, they did make a couple remakes, and so overall, I mean, there are some dings, but I think it still looks great, especially for the size that it is. Very high quality. I'm gonna give this an 8 out of 10 on the overall score. So to recap, on design, I'm gonna give this a 10 out of 10. Sculpting, 10 out of 10. Painting, 9 out of 10. Value, 7 out of 10. And overall, 8 out of 10. Thank you for watching. Until next time.